Liverpool fans, massive breaking news just dropped. From Pep Lijnders taking charge and FA Cup draw controversy to an Italian leak about Alisson and a possible Salah replacement, things are heating up at Anfield. Make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss the latest Liverpool news. Pep Lijnders to take charge of Man City versus Liverpool in FA Cup after Pep Guardiola decision. Pep Lijnders will take charge of Manchester City for their FA Cup quarter-final against Liverpool after Pep Guardiola was banned from the touchline for the game. Pep Lijnders will assume control of Manchester City for next month's FA Cup quarter-final against his former employers Liverpool, whilst Pep Guardiola serves a touchline suspension. The ex-Reds assistant, who worked with Jurgen Klopp across 2 separate periods at Anfield and played a part in the club's Champions League, Premier League, FA Cup, and 2 League Cup victories, made the controversial switch to join City as Guardiola's number 2 last summer, following his spell at Red Bull Salzburg, which came to an abrupt conclusion when he was sacked in December 2024. The Dutch coach has swiftly established himself as a valued member of Guardiola's coaching staff and will now assume managerial duties against his previous club when the sides meet in the FA Cup at the Etihad Stadium on the weekend of April 4th. Guardiola collected his 6th caution of the campaign during City's 3-1 triumph at Newcastle in the FA Cup 5th round on Saturday evening and will consequently serve a 2-match touchline suspension. The City manager angrily confronted 4th official Lewis Smith following Kieran Trippier's foul on Jeremy Doku at St James's Park. Fresh rules implemented for this season dictate that Premier League managers are banned for 1 fixture upon receiving 3 yellow cards, with 6 cautions resulting in a 2-match suspension. The suspension only covers Premier League and FA Cup fixtures, meaning Guardiola will be absent from the touchline for this weekend's visit to West Ham and the Cup encounter with Liverpool, though he'll be present in the dugout for the Carabao Cup final against Arsenal on March 22. He'll also be there for both legs of the Champions League last 16 fixture against Real Madrid. After receiving the caution at Newcastle, Guardiola remarked, "I will tell you something. We have all the records in this country. All of them. Despite everything, we have the record of the manager with the most yellow cards. I want all records, and now I have it. 2-game ban now, and I will go on holidays the next 2 games. There are things after 10 years I cannot understand. Review the action. Of course, I'm going to defend Doku and all my teams." Lijnders played down the controversy surrounding his move to City ahead of his first return to Anfield in the Premier League fixture last month, revealing that Klopp had encouraged him to take the role. "When I spoke with Jurgen, he was so clear. If you don't do it, I will take the assistant job," Lijnders told BBC Sport. "You cannot put away 10 years of Liverpool that easily, but I'm really proud to come to a club of this magnitude, so successful over the last 10 years and with a manager that defined football." In another news, Liverpool's FA Cup draw outcome blasted as rigged as unusual moments spotted. The draw for the FA Cup quarterfinals was conducted on Monday, with Liverpool set to travel to Manchester City, with Joe Hart's actions before the draw sparking controversy. Fans have accused the FA Cup quarterfinal draw of being rigged as a trip to Manchester City awaits for Liverpool. Arne Slot's team advanced to the last 8 after beating Barnsley, Brighton, and Wolves. Andrew Robertson, Mohamed Salah, and Curtis Jones scored the goals to book Liverpool's place in the quarterfinals with a 3-1 win at Molineux. Ultimately, the FA Cup represents Liverpool's best chance of winning silverware this season. The Reds find themselves 19 points behind Premier League leaders Arsenal and face a difficult draw in the UEFA Champions League, with Liverpool set to clash with Galatasaray in the last 16. However, Liverpool will have to face last season's runner-up if they are to win. The Reds have been handed a tricky tie against City at the Etihad. City's route to the quarterfinals has seen Pep Guardiola's team eliminate Exeter City, Salford City, and Newcastle United. The 2 teams will clash at the Etihad on the weekend of 4-5 April, marking the first game after the March international break. Liverpool and City last met in the FA Cup 4 years ago, when Jurgen Klopp's Reds won 3-2 in the Wembley semi-final. Liverpool went on to hoist the trophy, defeating Chelsea on penalties. Elsewhere in the draw, rivals Arsenal and Chelsea were handed more favourable draws. The Gunners travel to Championship Southampton in the quarter-finals, while Liam Rosenier's side faces Port Vale. The final tie sees West Ham United or Brentford host Leeds United. Viewers of the draw were not pleased, however, and some took aim at the process. Joe Cole and Joe Hart were the 2 figures conducting the draw, with the former Liverpool midfielder picking City out of the pot first. Then Hart, a former City goalkeeper, appeared to lean over and glance inside the pot before plunging his hand inside. He pulled out the number 6 ball, setting up Liverpool's trip to Manchester, which has angered fans. Man City versus Liverpool rigged. Since when was you allowed to take a sneak peek into the ball pit prior to picking? One user posted. Another wrote, "It's rigged. The only surprise for me is that City didn't get Port Vale and Liverpool didn't get Chelsea, but it's basically what I said it would be." "No way the draw is not rigged, LMAO," added another, while one more posted, "Cooked and corruption-ridden draw." Other fans fixated on rivals Arsenal, suggesting the North London club is benefiting from tremendously favorable draws. Of course, Arsenal get the easiest and Liverpool get the hardest, rigged as usual. "Liverpool got to come to the Etihad, LMAO, so rigged," lamented another user. One more posted, "So Chelsea get Port Vale, Arsenal get Southampton, and we get City. Yeah, this is rigged beyond belief." In another news, Italian source leaks what Liverpool are really saying about Alisson Becker. There's rampant speculation about the future of the once again injured Alisson Becker, and the latest from Italy has revealed what Liverpool are really thinking. If Alisson never played another match for Liverpool, he's already done enough to go down as one of the club's all-time greats and unquestionably their greatest goalkeeper in the Premier League era. However, Alisson has underperformed this term, with recent data put forward by the Daily Mail revealing that in one metric at least, the Brazilian is the worst goalkeeper in the Premier League. His distribution has also suffered a notable drop-off this term, and with just a single year remaining on his deal come the summer, there's murmurings of an exit to Italy. Inter Milan and especially Juventus are weighing up moves. One factor that could sway Liverpool's thinking are growing concerns over Georgi Mamardashvili. Team Talk revealed in late February that Mamardashvili is increasingly frustrated with his lack of opportunities this season. While it was never anticipated he'd displace Alisson straight away, it was expected he'd at least feature in the cup competitions. In Liverpool's last 2 FA Cup clashes with Brighton and Wolves, Arne Slot surprisingly opted to stick with Alisson in goal. As such, we understand Mamardashvili is now giving serious consideration to requesting a loan exit for next season. That, along with Alisson's declining form, could push Liverpool to move Alisson on in the summer. But according to the latest out of Italy, Liverpool's true intentions are to retain Alisson for the final year of his contract. Once the 2026-27 campaign concludes, it may then be time for Alisson to move on via free agency, and for Mamardashvili to become the new No. 1. Reporting on the matter due to Juve's confirmed interest in Alisson, Italian journalist Franco Leonetti told Radio Bianconera, "It's understandable that Juventus are looking for a goalkeeper with international experience. Whether it will be Jan Oblak, Alisson, or someone else is too early to say. Regarding Alisson, the English club are saying that they would like to respect his contract until June 2027. In the more immediate future for Alisson is a mercifully brief spell on the sidelines with a minor fitness issue. Slot has stated Alisson's latest injury is not a big issue and he could return for the Premier League clash with Tottenham on Sunday. However, Alisson has been ruled out of this evening's Champions League round of 16 clash with Galatasaray, and Mamardashvili will get a rare chance to impress." In another news, Liverpool told to sign Mohamed Salah replacement from relegation-threatened team. Liverpool could be in the market for a replacement for Mohamed Salah this summer, and a former Reds defender has come up with a suggestion as to who his old club could sign. Liverpool has been urged to pursue a deal to sign Dejan Kulusevski as a possible replacement for Mohamed Salah. Kulusevski is one of Tottenham's best players, and the North London club would find it almost impossible to keep hold of him in the event of relegation. Spurs are just 1 point off the drop zone and have not won a Premier League game in 2026. Kulusevski is not culpable in Tottenham's disastrous season, having not played since last May due to a serious knee injury. Tottenham's interim manager, Igor Tudor, said at the end of February that he was hopeful that Kulusevski would return before the end of the season, but he was not sure. "We hope so," Tudor said. "In this moment, we don't know." Former Liverpool defender Glenn Johnson thinks that the Sweden international could be a player of interest to his old club during the summer transfer window. Speaking to Boyle Sports, which offers the latest football odds, Johnson said, "Dejan Kulusevski a replacement for Mohamed Salah? Potentially. You've seen him sort of glide past them like they're not moving. So he definitely has that ability that can create something out of nothing. That skill, you can't teach that. So he's definitely got ability. If they were to go down and he was available on the cheap, then yeah, you could understand why someone would take a risk and why not Liverpool. Liverpool could be in the market for a new right-sided attacker this summer, with Salah's future at the club beyond this season looking uncertain. Salah is contracted to Liverpool until 2027, having signed a 2-year extension last April, but his form has dipped dramatically, and he could be sold in the summer. The Egyptian is Liverpool's highest-paid player, earning over $500,000 each week, and has scored just 5 Premier League goals all season. Liverpool is expected to receive interest in Salah from clubs in the Saudi Pro League during the off-season. Salah remains the biggest name player in the Arab world and would be able to command a monstrous contract in Saudi Arabia, despite his drop-off in form. Salah is yet to reach double figures for goals for Liverpool this season, after tallying 34 last term, but he has scored in the last 2 games, both of which were against Wolves. In another news, Liverpool could sign £80 million Van Dijk successor on one condition, but transfer for Spurs star more likely. Liverpool will have to stump up a huge fee if they want to sign Inter Milan centre-back Alessandro Bastoni this summer, according to reports. The Reds' plans for strengthening at centre-back over the summer were left in tatters after Crystal Palace pulled the plug on the sale of Marc Guehi at the last minute. Liverpool did sign a new centre-back from Parma in the form of Giovanni Leoni before the young Italy international succumbed to a season-ending injury in the Carabao Cup in September. The Reds have had to manage with little backup for Ibrahima Konate and Virgil van Dijk for most of the season, and now Liverpool are set to strengthen at centre-back in the summer. It was confirmed in January that Jeremy Jacquet will join from Rennes in the summer, and they are also looking for a slightly more senior centre-back to go straight into the starting Emith next term. Inter Milan star Bastoni has been linked in recent months, and Football Insider journalist Pete O'Rourke has warned Liverpool that it will take huge money to prize the Italy international away from the San Siro. O'Rourke adds that bids in excess of £80 million will be required just to bring Inter to the negotiating table, with sources indicating that Liverpool's ability to sign him this summer depends on whether he is keen to explore a new challenge in his career. Bastoni, the ideal successor for Van Dijk, but Barcelona are confident. As we confirmed recently, Barcelona are also looking at the possibility of signing Bastoni in the summer, though transfer expert Fabrizio Romano has indicated that the Catalan giants could struggle to raise the finances. Romano revealed, "When discussing Barcelona's plans for the summer, one of the dream targets in defense remains Alessandro Bastoni. Barcelona really appreciate Bastoni, and they admire his profile as a defender. However, I continue to repeat that for Inter, he is an absolutely crucial player. He is not just another squad member, he is one of the most important players in the team and also an Italian international, so it would be a very complicated deal." The interest from Barcelona is genuine because they like Bastoni a lot, but everything will depend on their financial priorities and how much they decide to invest in different positions. We must remember that Barcelona will likely spend around €30 million to sign Marcus Rashford on a permanent transfer. In addition to that, the club are also looking for a number 9. So the key question is whether Barcelona will still have the budget to afford Bastoni. That is why they are monitoring several alternatives and keeping different options open. However, Team Talk have been told that Barcelona are confident of getting a deal done for the Italian star, while Liverpool see him as the ideal successor to Van Dijk. Barcelona's confidence stems from positive early discussions with Bastoni's representatives, though financial constraints could prove a hurdle. Liverpool are not far behind, though, and Bastoni's elite distribution aligns perfectly with the Reds' build-from-the-back philosophy. Mickey van de Ven more likely? The report from O'Rourke and Football Insider adds that a deal for Tottenham centre-back Mickey van de Ven is more likely for Liverpool in the summer. It is understood that Liverpool are leading the race to sign the Netherlands international, while Barcelona are also extremely interested in Van de Ven. O'Rourke continues, "Van de Ven is expected to seek a move away from Tottenham in the summer, and as a result, he is a more likely candidate to join Liverpool than Bastoni is at the moment. Liverpool are prepared to make an early move for highly rated winger Jan Diomande in the summer as they attempt to beat a host of clubs to his signature. The interest from Anfield is not fully dependent on whether Mohamed Salah stays at Liverpool or not, and those close to the player have encouraged the Premier League giants to make their move. As Liverpool look to sign centre-backs, Club Brugge defender Joel Ordonez has opened the door to a move to Liverpool over the summer after admitting that he was a big Reds fan as a kid. Meanwhile, Liverpool made an approach to Nordjylland to sign Caleb Urenki in the January transfer window and remain keen on a 2026 summer deal. In another news, quality Champions League star comes clean on Liverpool transfer dream as no-brainer. Joe Gomez upgrade becomes clear. Club Brugge defender Joel Ordonez has opened the door to a high-profile transfer to Anfield this summer, with a very public admission of his love for Liverpool FC, while Team Talk can reveal the very latest on a possible move to bring the Ecuadorian to Merseyside. The Reds will soon be looking for upgrades in defense, with Virgil van Dijk due to turn 35 this summer and now entering the final 16 months of his contract at Anfield. And with doubts still surrounding the future of Ibrahima Konate, who is now due to become a free agent in a matter of weeks, Liverpool may need to sign one or two replacements over the coming weeks and months. While they have brought in Giovanni Leone last summer, the Italian seen as one for the future, we understand the Reds will seriously look into more central defensive recruits this summer, in addition to Jeremy Succe, as the plan for the long-term future at Anfield. And while sources understand that FSG have presented their biggest offer yet to Konate, the presence of losing a top defensive star to Real Madrid still lurks over Merseyside. Now, the chance to sign one of those in Ordonez has presented itself to Anfield after a big admission from the player that he supported Liverpool as a boy and that he is open to a Premier League move. The 21-year-old helped Brugge reach the playoff round of the Champions League, where their run was ended by Atletico Madrid. And given he can cover at both centre-half and right-back, he looks an ideal upgrade for Joe Gomez in their defence, regardless of what comes of Konate. Speaking to Gazette van Antwerpen, he said, "It would be great if I could go to the Premier League. That's my favourite league, and given my size, it should suit me well. As a kid, I was a big Liverpool fan too. But what are the chances of Liverpool resurrecting a summer move for a player that we have previously confirmed is on their radar?" Sources rate chances of Joel Ordonez joining Liverpool back in January. In the wake of the news that Marc Guehi was joining Manchester City, it was claimed that Liverpool were themselves on the cusp of a move for Ordonez. As our sources stated at the time, Liverpool were not in the market for the Ecuadorian, with the Reds instead going on to seal the signing of Succe, who will arrive at Anfield this summer. Despite that, an update from our sources says Liverpool will still look to sign another new centre-half this summer and has confirmed that Ordonez is one they are looking at. However, we understand a move to bring Jarell Quansah back to Anfield from Bayer Leverkusen looks more likely at this stage after we revealed last week that the club are intensifying their assessments over a possible summer reunion. In addition, Liverpool, as revealed on Monday, are also hot on the trail of Inter's commanding defender Alessandro Bastoni, though his enormous price and a difficulty in prizing him away make a deal look prohibitive. As a result, a move for Ordonez could yet come to fruition for the Reds, who we understand would cost in the region of €40 million or £35 million or $47 million. Ordonez, in an extensive interview with Gazette van Antwerpen, has also come clean on how he felt when he saw a January move to Crystal Palace break down. "I'm indeed a calm person, someone who always keeps a level head. You see that on the pitch too," he added. "If opponents challenge me, I never react, but at that moment I was really angry, yes. Those had been stressful weeks too. Yet I was able to quickly turn things around afterwards. I'm no longer sad about that missed transfer and I'm just happy to be here. Everything happens for a reason after all." Ordonez has also dismissed talk that he would follow the money and move to Saudi Arabia. "I also received an offer from Saudi Arabia, from Al Hilal, but I'm not looking for that right now. I want to win trophies at the highest level and make a name for myself," he concluded. Latest Liverpool news. Ghana midfielder wanted. Moussa Diaby transfer plan. Meanwhile, Liverpool plan to hold talks with Caleb Urenki to convince him to move to Anfield this summer, according to a report, which has revealed exactly why the Reds want to bring the little-known star to the club. Elsewhere, Liverpool have added a talented AS Monaco attacker to their list of targets for the summer transfer window, according to our contacts. In other news, sources confirmed that Liverpool have held talks and are giving serious thoughts to the prospects of signing Moussa Diaby this summer after it was made clear the former Aston Villa winger can leave Al Ittihad, though he is just one of a number of options the Reds are looking into. In another news, Raheem Sterling responds to Robin van Persie's call amid Feyenoord crisis. Raheem Sterling was substituted in the 60th minute on his first start for Feyenoord in a 3-3 draw with NAC Breda and has now spoken out as fans call for Van Persie to be sacked. Raheem Sterling insists he respects Robin van Persie's choice to withdraw him during his first full Feyenoord appearance, despite his desire to remain on the field. The England forward moved to the Dutch outfit in January, seeking to revitalize his career after a disappointing stint with Chelsea. However, he has been required to exercise patience with the Eredivisie side. Sterling only managed to secure his maiden start for Feyenoord at the weekend following a handful of substitute outings and completed just 60 minutes before being withdrawn in a 3-3 stalemate with NAC Breda. His performance, however, did not go down well within the Dutch media. Sterling has subsequently disclosed he was reluctant to leave the pitch but acknowledged head coach Van Persie's judgment. He said, "I felt good enough to continue, but it is the coach's choice. Every player wants to stay on. You want to stay on the pitch. It is understandable that it is not yet possible. It is another new step in the right direction." Sterling continued, "We would have liked to win. We have mixed feelings about the performance. It was very inconsistent, but at times also very good. I want to get back to my old level. It was a nice attack from our side. We have to keep working on it, and then more will follow." Sunday's stalemate with Breda arrives during a challenging period for Feyenoord. The Dutch club sits second in the Eredivisie but trail table toppers PSV by 19 points. Despite calls from supporters for Van Persie to be dismissed, the ex-Arsenal and Manchester United ace isn't ready to give up just yet. Post-match, he admitted, "It's not fun. Over the years, I've developed a thick skin. It's not fun. That's part of it. During my playing career, I also had to deal with a lot of criticism. From my perspective, I overcame all that by simply continuing to do what I loved. Now there's criticism too, which, from my perspective, there's room for. Everyone has the opportunity to express their opinion." He continued, "I completely understand those emotions. That's what makes football beautiful. But from my perspective, I also give it a place and I can handle it well and separate it. That doesn't penetrate their elephant skin. I'm not a runaway. I wasn't as a player, I wasn't as a person, and I certainly aren't as a manager either. These emotions are apparently part of it. Do I like it? No. But does it change my intentions to help the club? Also no. That's the latest Liverpool update. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like, comment your thoughts, and subscribe for daily Liverpool news and transfer updates. Thanks for watching, and you'll never walk alone.